Hello guys, Silvi again, and I decided to take down my old second video and remake the video, I guess. And it was mostly because I got some input by another Berserker on what is a more smoother rotation. And the Berserker that helped me with that was this guy, War. That's the only reason I was standing here, just so I could give credit to him. So before, I recommended using Vamp at the first reset of cycle, but I believe that War said that, I mean, it makes sense too. I feel like, oh well, he said that each like to get the max damage for Cyclone, it's better to just use a lethal instead of Vamp lethal, because I would think it's the time wasted using a Vamp before you're lethal to increase your damage of lethal could be better used in the damage increase you get from using a Cyclone and a lethal really fast. And then another point that he made was basically whenever you're gonna animation cancel with your axe block, whether that be for a Cyclone or for a Thunder Strike, you wanna, like, if Lethal Strike is off cooldown, you'll use Lethal Strike instead. Poor Rock Golem getting wrecked over there. But yeah, so that was basically about it. And then usually I had this at the, like, I would use it at the end of my flatten, but the way he did it was he would overwhelm raise flatten, and that makes sense because raise is an animation cancel, and honestly that's so much smoother than when I had it before, because then I would have to, like, you know, axe block to animation cancel the overwhelm. Alright, so for Apex, pre-level 69, when you don't have this buff, you're gonna want to use Fiery Rage and Bloodlust right before your Apex. Post, if you're already level 69 and you have this buff, all you have to use is Bloodlust. Save your Fiery Rage for after you come off of Apex. So this is what it would look like if you're you know, pre-Apex. You're gonna Fiery Rage, Bloodlust, Apex, Pet Buff, hit your number 2, and then right click and spam space until you have 10, and then your number 1, spam space until your stack of 10 runs out, 2, right click, 1, until your Apex runs out, and then you hit your number 2 at the end. That wasn't the best because I was talking at the same time, but like, you get the idea. You I'll do a better one in a bit, but like, so basically that what I did was I Bloodlust, no, I'm sorry, I Fiery Rage and I Bloodlust because this is pre-Apex, I mean sorry, pre-69. So a Fire Rage, Bloodlust, Pet Buff, Apex, and then as I hit my number 2, I also hit my Root Beer and my Brooch, because that makes my attack speed faster, it makes me do more damage. So yeah, you do that. And then you could either do it like right before the X shape shows up at the end of your animation, or like right as it shows up. You want to click right click which is Dexter, I believe. Hopefully. But yeah, right click and then you spam space until you have a stack of 10. Once you get that stack of 10, you're gonna hit your number 1, which is Rampage, I believe, until your stack of 10 from Dexter is about to run out, and then you hit your number 2. Again, you could either stop it right before the X or at the X. I personally don't notice the difference. Maybe it's because my ping. But if you have lower ping, maybe it's better to stop it before you see the X. And then you just repeat. You go Dexter until you get that stack of 10. Hit Rampage until your this time until your apex is like at 1 second. And then you hit your number 2 and you let that finish off. Alright, so now with the apex out of the way, let's move on to the normal rotation. So usually after your apex, if you're past the level 69, or sorry, if you have the level 69 buff, you'll use Fiery Rage because you'll have it. But like pre level 69, I don't think you'll have it. Well, I'm pretty sure you won't have it. So I guess you can get the glyph for this to give you that flurry of blows to make you faster, or you can use a root beer. Oh no, wait, root beer would be on cooldown. Yeah, so just this, I guess. But post level 69, you'll start off with Fiery Rage, and then you'll go into Thunder Strike, Vampiric Blow, Lethal, and then you'll press you'll hold Cyclone. Sorry, that'll animation cancel the lethal, so you don't have to worry about animation canceling that. And then you charge this to max, like max charge and max overcharge, because you have the Fury of Blows and the Fiery Rage effects going on, so it makes it faster and stronger. After this goes off, you usually get resets. Usually, if this resets, you'll use lethal. If it resets again, you'll use lethal. Oh, I'm sorry. Of course, lethal also has to reset. And then if it resets for a final time, you'll just press Cyclone. And then towards the end of your Cyclone, if lethal is off cooldown, you'll use lethal. After that little portion is over, you'll go back into Thunder Strike. And depending if this is off cooldown or not, you'll use this, or sorry, Vamp, and then lethal. But then again, lethal has to be off cooldown. If this is not on cooldown, then you'll use Thunder Strike and lethal. Basically, you always want to use lethal if you're using Thunder Strike, if you're using Vamp, if you're using Cyclone, and if you're using Leaping Strike. This is situational though, or I guess you could use it as a filler. But yeah, because those 4 skills make it go off faster. But anyways, alright, so you're on the second portion. Your Cyclone is on cooldown for like a good 9 minutes. So you're gonna go Thunder Strike, Vamp, Lethal, Overwhelm, Raise, Flatten. If this is still on cooldown, you could throw in a Tackle or a Sweeping Strike or a Leaping Strike. If this is off, if lethal is off cooldown, you could use a Leaping Strike lethal. If let's say Thunder Strike goes off cooldown and your Cyclone's still on cooldown, then of course you'll go for Thunder Strike and then lethal if lethal's off cooldown. And then you'll go straight into Cyclone, and you just repeat that process. it's not too hard to get the hang of. Like, once you start noticing, you know, oh, this is off cooldown, I must use. But yeah, that's basically it. Oh, and I just realized that I forgot to mention about skill prediction or proxy. If your Apex looks so much slower than mine, then you're probably gonna need proxy. It's not a hack. Well, I guess it is a hack, but it's not what you think it is. It doesn't play the game for you. It's basically, I don't know how it works. It just makes you feel like you have good peak. It doesn't tell you the future or anything. But anyways, yeah, you're gonna want proxy from the toolbox Discord. At least that's the one that I use. You can go buy the paid ones if you want, but if you're gonna play Berserker, you're gonna want to get proxy. That's just how it is. Our Berserker's kind of garbage without it, to be honest. But what else is there? Oh, but the downsides of proxy is sometimes you get cyclone ghosting, like it just, like, for some reason, I don't know, the animation doesn't go off or something, and then I don't even know, it just fucks with your cyclone sometimes, and that's annoying. But honestly, I'd rather have that than be super slow as fuck. I don't think there's anything else to say besides have a good day. But yeah, thanks for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye.